All right, we should be live. So, as long as I did everything right. But after check episode number 156 times, surely we figured it out by now, right?
No, there has to be a system in place. Exactly.
I'm trying my best. Well, anyway, welcome to the show where we yap about speedrunning for a couple hours and then call it a day. So,
Exactly.
you know the drill. Anyway, welcome, guest. Who are you? Tell us.
How's it going? My name is Gehis514. Yes, that is how you say my name. And
It's good
I
to know.
am a. You see, I always have to tell everyone that because
Mhm.
everyone, gets confused. I got to remind them. But yeah, I am a world record holder for Sly Cooper and the Thievis Raccoonus for the PS2.
I see he's also joined the broadcast on the bed there.
Yeah, got a couple friends of yours currently here. Just observing.
It's good. It's good. So, I know nothing about the game. So, it's time to learn, I think.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting because I do think like out of the series outside of the fourth one, people don't really like talking about the fourth one. Yeah, the first one is like in terms of the speed run, you know, it's like it's in a weird place because it's like it's the shortest one of the series, so it's more enjoyable to speed run, but it's like kind of like third or second to like in terms of popularity to like the second game, which is like in terms of casual experience in speed running, the most popular one.
Yeah. I wouldn't know. When I say like I know nothing, I mean I genuinely have never looked at the franchise.
No,
So,
that's perfectly fine.
I'm a
Yeah, I'm here to
Nintendo
facilitate the
boy,
knowledge.
although I am collecting PlayStations. I have all but the two. So, someday we'll get there.
Yeah, they do say that like if you have like what the a backwards compatible PS3 and a PS5, you could play every generation of PlayStation games. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. Meanwhile, I have a PS1, 3, 4, and 5.
Well, that's fair enough.
Oops.
Yeah, that's a good. That's fine. That's fine.
So yeah, yeah, PlayStation is, or like exclusive franchises to that brand, I guess. I have not really dove
Yeah.
into yet, um, because yeah, I grew up with Nintendo stuff, and later on, most things were cross-platform anyway. So anything that was like exclusive old school PlayStation, I have not yet really dived into, but I've heard a lot of great
No.
things. I know the PlayStation Nation's strong,
Mhm.
so.
Oh, absolutely. I think like I myself, I'm not too familiar with Nintendo speedrunning. I
Mhm.
think my only source of knowledge in that regard is, of course, summoning Saul. It's like, like, if you're speedrunning, you definitely are familiar. But in regards to PlayStation, yeah, like you enter like any kind of like sphere in PlayStation gaming, like for example, Sly Cooper, you're gonna see like a lot of like intersecting between like the other games, like like Crash speedrunners or like Ratchet and Clank or Jack and Daxter runners, things like that.
Mhm. Yep. I know there's some great content out there about the PlayStation stuff. So, shout out Ricky, of course, but
No,
so
of course,
I
yeah,
have seen
yeah.
some
Ricky's gonna be that
stuff.
for us.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, haven't touched it, and I try not to look at speedrun related stuff until I've at least familiar with the game. That's not always
Yes,
true because speedrunning's a little addicting. We can all agree, but yeah.
absolutely.
So I'm excited to learn more, basically. But to begin things off, I guess
Hmm.
let's start with you and how you started. It's a good sentence. Anyway.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But let me see. How did I start? Because I believe I started speedrunning in late 2020, so October 2020. So that's the timeline. I believe I kind of like, was interested earlier on. I think like I was, you know, I, I don't remember what it was. I probably watched a GDQ of some sort, like, like 2016, around that time frame. So I was like, I kind of did a little bit of Mario 64. It's
Everyone
funny
has
because like I was
to. Rite of passage, of course.
exactly. So like I did a pretty mean 16 star back in the day, in like 2016, just saying. But It's funny because like how I played that was on a like I didn't play like the classics like what the classics version. I don't know if that's what you refer to as, but like the shop version, whatever it's called. But I think I played it on like a modded Wii that was emulating the N64,
Oh,
so it
oh,
wasn't exactly the
virtual
best.
console. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, virtual console, but like it wasn't virtual console. It was like emulating it
Mhm.
in a different way on a modded Wii, but so like it wasn't the best feeling, but it was how I did it. So
That's interesting
uh
since obviously the Wii can has the virtual console built in. However,
yeah,
they do
yeah,
that their own official emulators, so it's funny
yeah,
there's
because
another emulator.
it's like it's hard to describe, but it's like it's basically you're just emulating the thing, not just like through virtual console, but like just like how one would expect emulation to go, like when
Hmm.
you force it. It's not the best, but it worked out.
No.
But yeah, so that was my first introduction to speedrunning. And then like I kind of just like kept it out of my mind for a few years until I started streaming. I think 2020 was like the year or so like into me streaming. So I think around that point, I also saw like the speed run for Sly Cooper to Thieves Raccoonus, right? For around like the early 2020, and I saw the world record at the time. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I like that game. I think I like Sly One quite a bit, so like I might check that in the future. And then later on, then we're getting to late 2020. And it's like I was thinking about things to do on stream, and I realized don't people like speedrun on stream sometimes? Maybe I should try that. And then I just slightly remember, like, oh, I watched the speedrun for this game. I probably could try that out. Looks pretty all right for like a 30-minute world record speedrun. So I could try that out for a little bit. So that is to say that Sly Cooper is my first speedrun.
Hmm.
And it is also the game I hold the world record in currently. So that's kind of interesting to think about.
Yep. Well, how did you get there? Can't happen overnight.
Oh, absolutely not. It's interesting to think about because like I do have a little bit of the neurodivergent tendencies that to be like when I immediately feel like I am pretty all right at something when I first start it, I have more of a chance to stick with it. And it definitely helps when I was like streaming the game, learning the speedrun for the first time. Where you have like community members just coming in and just glazing you. Just like, man, you're doing really good for your first time. I'm like, wait a minute, wait, you might be right.
That's
I
how
might
they
stick
pull
with
you
this.
in. It's all part of the
Exactly.
strat.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to make sure you keep your speedrunners that are beginners, you got to make them feel good a little bit. So
Hmm.
worked out for me in that regard. But so I was doing that for a little bit, and over time, of course, I'm practicing, like staying consistent, wanting to get better. And it took me a span of 6 months to get from beginner to, to to having my first world record in that game, which was
Oh,
very
okay.
interesting at the time. Yeah, because especially like in that time frame, because one thing about Sly One speedrunning that if you're like people that are familiar with it would know is that 2020 in particular was a more active time for the community because that's when
Hmm.
a new huge skip was found for the game and people were kind of like just
Oh, I thought it was called
hovering over
COVID.
it.
My bad.
No, that too. That also was a factor, but also like that compounded the fact that there was like a new skip, new huge skip that saved like like I don't know, I don't even remember. Like I wasn't even that around for the time, but like I don't know, like 8 minutes, 9 minutes, something like that. Like it took a huge chunk of the runoff,
That's a lot of
just
minutes.
skipping like yeah, like it skips like 6 levels like in that game. So
Jesus.
and so that's why I think it's interesting the fact that like at that specific time that I was able to to take a record in that time frame.
Well, had some help, it sounds like. Kind of a new development while you're new puts you on the same level, almost.
Yeah, because yeah, that helps as well. Like there like I could have mentioned that there is a one contentious speedrun trick. I don't know like how other Nintendo speedruns fare, but in this run, of course, there's one trick that's like basically just like the make or break in regards to the fact
the
that
the
like
carpetless, we'll say.
Let's say that because it's the horror is basically consistent. You know, you play well. It's it's fine. It's very doable consistently. But this one trick is called fish skip. It's when like since you're not familiar, I'll describe it to you. There's like a
Hmm.
mini game in the game where you're just going around on a boat collecting fish and trying to light up tiki torches, 25 of them. And of course, that sounds like it's very like like time consuming, right?
Hmm.
But you could skip all of it by driving up to a locked gate and you could just flick like the analog stick like a little bit and then you could clip through the gate and grab like the end game, the end level item which is a key.
Hmm.
And then you could just leave basically like as instantly as you enter. But the problem is it's very finicky and like, it's like it depends on a lot of factors like
Hmm.
camera angles, analog movement, stuff like that. So it's basically considered RNG.
Oh,
So that
I
that's
see.
basically RNG. But yeah, it's difficult to do like immediately is what I'm trying to say here. It's just not consistent in that regard.
Is it something you can easily retry multiple times, or does it take a while to set back up?
It is something that you could do multiple times because like you're basically hugging up against the gate and you just flick an analog stick basically like in like a smooth motion like per attempt. Of
Hmm.
course you could fall off the place that you're on and just you have to set up like like in 2 seconds. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's like you either get it immediately or you're there for like 2 minutes. So it's not
Oh,
the
okay.
most favorable. Yeah, it's not the most favorable. That's why it's a huge swing in the speed run when you're trying to do that.
I can see that being problematic.
Yeah.
That's a big swing of time.
Exactly. And yeah, I bring that up because I think it was around like 2 or 3 months into me speedrunning the game where people were like, we're actually looking at that trick again. And I decided, well, I think I might as well test it out, see if it happens. And at the time, I was one of the few people that actually could do it, like as one would consider like consistently.
Hmm.
So compared to what people usually get, like in like playing that level specifically normally, like in like I don't know, like just about a minute. Like I could get out of there with like 40 seconds of time save above everyone else.
Jesus.
Like especially at that time. Yeah, exactly.
Wow. That's just a significant deal. I'm
Yeah, it's
just trying to
interesting
picture
because
it.
yeah, just like especially for the run at the time, which was world record run was like around like a 34, 33 minute speed run. It's yeah, because it's interesting too. Because when I got my record the first time, I do like vividly recall people saying that my record run was definitely the most unique that has ever been done
Hmm.
because I had the advantage of doing that trick, but also I was very much doing a lot of slower and safer strats for basically most of the run because of that. So I could afford to to take it easy for the rest of the run because of that doing that one trick.
Like you got it so fast. Like, do you know how much you saved over the record run at the time just from that?
At the time, I would have to check, but it's definitely like I think I barely scraped by. I would have to check, but like
Hmm.
it wasn't like a huge time advantage over the record run at the time, if I remember. But
Okay.
it was like enough that I could just like you know like kind of like breathe a little bit easier. But it's like not within like 10 seconds, something like that.
Okay. I wasn't sure how optimized the run was or would have been back then to where you would like need it first try, even though it's like RNG or whatever.
Yeah, like I think at the time the run was pretty optimized. It's just like, a one trick to determine a speed run like is that powerful, I would say, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the run
Hmm.
isn't terribly long in the grand
Yeah,
scheme of
like
things, so
like especially like in the scope of PlayStation itself, like you know, the record run currently is like sitting at just a sub 31. And for like a beginner's first time playing it, like to speed run, it's like I don't know, an hour 10, which is not terrible. Like honestly, it's favorable.
yeah. No, obviously I played like 5-minute games, but I know
Exactly,
in
yeah.
the again grand scheme of things, like an hour is a pretty average run length. not
Yeah,
too
like
bad.
I think yeah, I think for like just a normal bystander, I think like when you're getting to around an hour, that's around like the upper limit of what people could be like, like I think that's pretty good. Like I think that's a good speed run to just sink some time into.
Mm. So 6 months you said it took from starting to record.
Yeah, so like yeah, so October 2020 and I think what was it? Like April 2021 is what it was in that time frame. I believe that was.
And is that like the only game you ran during that time?
Yes, I would
Okay.
say because
So
yeah,
work was
so
put in.
yeah, work was put in. Because I stream the runs. Like I don't do like offline runs
Mhm.
since I don't feel too good about those. But yeah, just like just consistently like three times a week, just put in like the time in any percent. And of course, like with that much consistency and like, like a certain mindset that you have, you could definitely go far with just those things and just wanting to go that far, I would say.
Mhm. So how much time were you putting in like per day, week, or
Mm. Well, it's interesting because I still am the same way now. I think like especially like earlier on, I spent like a lot of my free time um just doing just practicing, really, honestly.
Mhm.
Um I can I put a number on it? Like I don't know, like 4 or 5 hours like a day sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just like for a 30-minute speed run, but like it's sometimes like you would just try that hard, but you can definitely get far when you don't have a job and don't have like, a girlfriend. So, that's just
Hell
how it is
yeah.
sometimes. You can go that far, especially at that time.
Mhm. And yeah, again, that was a great time, COVID and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess it all works
Hmm.
out.
Yeah, I think it panned out pretty well. As I like as I'm still I still hold the records at the moment, feeling pretty good about that. And I still kind of treat the game the same way as I did back then. When I'm just bored, I'm like, let me just practice some Sly Cooper at the moment because like it's just a fun thing to do, like just to pass the time now for me.
Mhm. Almost like therapeutic to practice the game.
Yeah, it's just like yeah, since it's so baked into muscle memory, it's just like it's a bit of comfort for that one. Yeah.
Makes sense. So, do you remember your first record, what the time was, and how much of an improvement over the former it was?
I could quickly pull it up, but it was in the ballpark of a 33-minute speed run. This won't take me long. Let's see. But yeah, let me see if I go here. I do obsolete and show that. I believe my first record was a 33:56 or 33:43. I don't remember. Yeah, but it's somewhere around that ballpark, I would say. Yeah, no, 34:37. That's what the time was at the time. Okay, there we go.
Mm,
And the improvement over that was a 34:43. So yeah, you could definitely see that like it wasn't a lot of time that I had over
yeah.
the record. So, but like it was just enough to be like that definitely deserved it. Like for as much as I worked for, like in that time frame, like that one was a good like time adjustment for that one.
Hmm. And how active was the community back then?
Yeah, back then, like at least the category, for like even for as small as like PlayStation speedrunning is, you would just see like I don't know, like 3 or 4 people streaming the game, like no matter the hour.
Hmm.
Like you could just reliably just hop on Twitch and go into category and just like see like quite a few people speedrunning it, no matter what the time frame was, because you have people from the U.S. Games pretty popular in Europe as well, and Australians as well. We had a couple of people running for from there. So just reliably, just very consistently like active, and a lot of excitement over like the new skip specifically. Yes, that
Hmm.
saved like 8 minutes or so.
Yeah. I mean, that is. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot maybe to the casual observer, but that's actually quite a lot. It's
Hmm.
hard even in popular games, unless it's like Mario 64 or whatever. But like to have
Yes.
consistent speed runs around the clock.
Yeah, because yeah, PlayStation speedrunning, like, of course, is like a on a smaller scale than Nintendo speedrunning,
Hmm.
but like you could definitely notice like when something is more active when there's a lot of like chatter in like that regard, like quite a few people are running in that time frame.
Yeah. Um, do you know like how many people have submitted runs to the boards? Like it doesn't have to be an exact number, but just like to get a
Yeah, at
idea
the
of how.
moment, yeah, I'm seeing here that there's 146 runs for Sly One. Yes.
Wow, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, for like I think the advantage for that of course is the fact that um it is a shorter run, of course,
Hmm.
like I said, if you're a beginner, probably expect like about an hour for your first run, hour and like 15. And also the fact that the game itself in terms of the speed run, even within like its own sphere of PlayStation speedrunning, compared to the other games, it's quite simple because things like Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, even the other like Sly games, this game does not have a lot of focus on movement itself. Like really the only movement you have is just, running forward with the analog stick. But the main things are being able to get to the end of levels faster and doing something that's called a proxy, which is
Mm.
basically when you squeeze like, Sly into between like two like polygons, and the game doesn't like when you do that, so it kind of like ejects him out with like velocity. So think of it like you're being pinched between a corner and then you get, spit out really fast in a certain
Mm.
direction. So things like that. It's very simple to set
That's
up.
is it like very similar to the Spyro because I know that's a big tech in that game.
Yes, actually, you could think of it the same way.
Oh, perfect.
I've heard that yeah, I heard that there's some differences, but at least in the iteration in Sly One, that's how I would describe it. Yes.
Okay. To the common observer, me, it's
Yes, of
about the
course.
same thing. Okay.
It's about the same thing. As far as you're concerned, it's the same thing.
Well, that's cool. It's nice when you can, well, even though it's slightly different, but you can like think of a trick from another game and kind of apply it and be like, oh, I understand now. It's not like here's two paragraphs of new information you need to retain in your login. Like, oh no, that makes sense actually.
Yeah, because like I think even Ratchet and Clank has things like that too.
Really?
For
Is
what I
this a
recall, like
PlayStation thing?
yeah, it might be. I don't know if I've seen like this mechanic of proxy like work in other games, but
Mhm.
like for example, like in Ratchet and Clank, at least I think it works this way where the camera itself is treated like its own object, right? So
Oh.
sometimes you would use the camera to like force it in strange positions like around Ratchet himself. And then like because of that, like the camera actually proxies Ratchet to like other locations like higher up. So things like there's a lot of similarities in that regard, yes.
Fascinating.
Yeah, that's what yeah, I think it's fascinating, yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's cool. No wonder the PlayStation Ace is so strong. The games are so
Yeah.
similar anyway.
Yeah. I think like it's also interesting. Like I said, like the game's simple in terms of the speed run. But another way to also think about it, like if you're even like slightly familiar, um I always say that Sly One specifically, kind of feels like a crash game based on how simple it is. Because in Crash, you're just moving forward and you have spinning, and like that's basically your main move set. And like in Sly One, it's just like where you're walking forward, you only have a cane swing, but you sometimes do parkour, which is
Hmm.
pretty cool. So it's just a continuation of like simplicity, and it's more about like the level design and whatnot.
Hmm. All right. So I don't know if we talked much about this skip in detail. I'm curious because you don't
Hmm.
just save what, like how many minutes? It was multiple minutes.
Yeah, multiple minutes. It's like enough to turn your head. Like when you hear like on the ballpark of like 7 to like 9 minutes, is like that's definitely something you have to like look at.
Hmm. So I'm curious how this works.
Okay, so the way that the game operates on, in the speedrun sense is that there are, to describe like how the layout is, there's like 5 worlds, right? There's 5 worlds, 5 of them. And there's about 7 levels per world. And the layout works is like there's an introductory level to get you into the main hub world where you have access to the rest of the 6 levels that are available. So, and what you could do with most of the worlds in the game, so like worlds 1, 2, and 4 specifically, when you get to the hub world, like, at the center of everything, there's actually a way to skip playing all the other 6 levels in that area and go directly to the boss fight, because in some worlds the boss trigger is always active. So if you just touch the trigger in a specific spot, you can just access the boss, the boss fight, and then you just leave to the next world. So that's basically what it is. And at the time, before 2020, you could only skip worlds 1 and 2.
Hmm.
And then in 2020, the skip for World 4 was found because, it's funny because someone was like using like a trainer, mods
Hmm.
to like fly sly like all over like the world. And then they just found like the boss trigger in a specific area. And they're
Oh,
like,
just
oh, that's,
by pure chance.
yeah, it's by pure chance. But I think the way that was treated is like, oh, like it's normal, right? Because like people surely have found this. So like it
What?
wasn't
No.
given that much it wasn't given that much like like hype at the time from the guy that found it, which is
Hmm.
hilarious to me. But like like shortly afterwards, it's like, wait, what? It's like, wait, how did you find this? And it's like, oh, and then they just picked up from there.
I
So I
see.
think it's hilarious.
I love
But
when
yes,
things are
basic.
discovered completely on accident from someone outside the speedrun community.
Yeah, like it's someone that like that is very technical and modifies the games, because I think they created like the trainer to be able to do that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, like basically, trigger was found. There are a lot of like setups you could do to access that trigger because it's got kind of far away from like the main playable area. So like you could do like multiple tricks to like launch yourself over to that area to like touch the trigger, and then that would of course save like a lot of time than playing like 6 other levels beforehand.
Hmm. I see. So,
Hmm.
does every hub have a boss trigger? Or is it just these three?
Yeah. Worlds 1, 2, and 4, they do have the boss trigger like readily available and active. World 5 is the final world of the game. It's
Hmm.
kind of like it's treated differently because instead of like a hub world layout, it's kind of like you play one level like after the other, so that there's nothing
Hmm.
to like to skip to.
Yeah.
But World 3 is the big one. That's the one that's basically like what is it, the white whale of the speedrunning community for the game, because like there is no discernible way to actually access that boss trigger because it isn't active. So like for multiple years, like it's been thought about like just like how to actually access that, because the fish skip that I was talking about is in World 3. The biggest trick of
Hmm.
the game so far. So skipping the entire world would negate all
Yes.
that issue.
Fish skip skip would be huge.
Exactly. So you can see why it's a big deal, why that's like World 3 specifically would be a huge deal if it was ever found. Because
Hmm.
you could just take out the worst part of the game.
But because the trigger's not active like the other worlds currently, there's no like possible way to even like conceive a chance of this happening.
Exactly. Like I would imagine like you have to do some kind of like strange setup, like some kind of like, some kind of ace to
Ah, of course.
to access it. Like like you would like it's not something that like we have the current knowledge of now, but I would imagine that like something unseen, something so like abstract would be the answer in that regard.
Hmm. Nope, you never know. But of course, if it was somehow like an ace thing, I have a feeling that would kind of branch off into its own kind of category. Usually that's how ace runs are treated.
Oh yeah, of course. Like
So,
even then, like if it was found, like it would kind of like you know, trivialize the 80% speedrun a little bit, because at
mm,
that point, it does become kind of a boss rush, because like you do like intro
mm,
level, skip to boss fight, do boss fight, repeat until like the end. So
yeah. true.
Um, it,
Gotta
it
have
would
that
like
World 3 in there. It's important.
yeah, yeah, that's what I think. That I am definitely a proponent of. I'm fine if we never find it because like we play a lot of the game already. Like it's like this is the best that we have it currently. So if we find it, like it just becomes like well, it's just a boss rush now. So it's not that exciting, but it is what it is if it gets found.
Hmm. That is really interesting that that's how the game is laid out. Almost to a point where you could just literally words just boss rush to the end. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
this thing was active. It's funny that, the other three worlds are active and this one isn't.
Yeah,
um
like I don't because like yeah because to visualize how it works, it's just like using World One for example. Um, the main like objectives you have to access like a cannon to launch yourself to like the boss fight like in a blimp or something, and the cannon is locked until you have like 7 keys, right?
mhm.
So um that means playing like the 7 levels, collecting the key after every level. But there's like a technique that we do called a super jump where you could start like slide slide in a certain position, and if this might be a familiar thing where if you jump like into water that you can't swim in or like into a void, the game puts you
Upwarp.
back to where you originally were.
Oh no. I
Yeah,
see.
so like yeah, so like you jump into water, like it puts you to where the game last thought you were standing on, right?
Okay, so all right, okay.
Yeah, so there's a thing that we can do where if you press like the attack button like square right as you land and you jump before the animation's over, it actually doesn't update your ground position. So what that means, you put those two things together, like you could just jump from one spot, go to another spot without updating your ground position, like, and then you either get stuck or you fall into like the void or water. Then you get launched all the way back to the first spot, passing through every wall and everything. And in that passage, if
Oh.
you touch the boss trigger, it does actually count.
Okay. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this then.
Yeah, I think there's like like a few games where like things are dependent on like if you're standing on somewhere you take damage, like it puts you back somewhere else, something like that. Like that idea is kind of like
Yeah.
kind of like more known. But yeah, like if there's just it's interesting how it works out. Just like there's a thing that we like a mechanic that we do in the speed run where well if we just don't update the position where we're jumping, like we could just go back to the first spot like without like actually like interrupting the sequence.
You see, when I think of a game doing something like that, it's like an instant teleport kind of a thing.
Mhm.
Like once it realizes, just snap, you're there. But it sounds like it, what, drags you there over time, even if it's like quickly.
Yeah, yeah, that's basically what it is.
Okay.
Like you'll see that like quite a bit in the speed run, where like it looks like you're just jumping and swinging, like the attack button,
Hmm.
like and just using it like moving somewhere. And yeah, it's just like you just go somewhere, and then like it does drag you back quickly to like your first spot, and like it doesn't you know track walls. Like walls aren't like interactable in that state when you're dragged back. So you
Okay.
pass through basically everything, even boss triggers, which is how that works. So
Wow.
you still touch that.
Huh. That's just such a weird way of teleporting you back, I guess.
Yeah, but
But
like
I
it
mean,
because if it was like a simple teleport, like you fall somewhere and then like you just spawn back into the first
pop,
spot, like
yeah.
this wouldn't work at all.
No, I
Like it's
know.
because of the fact, yeah, that
But I
like you
feel like
drag back,
that's
it
how
works out.
99% of games do something like that. It's like, oh, let you get teleported to your last position, not like dragged to your last position.
I know, yeah, it's strange.
That's
I think even
wow.
I think even in the second game, like there's like there's like the same trick still exists because it's still in the same engine, but
Hmm.
I think like from the little that I've seen, it does teleport you back in the second game, kind of,
Okay.
which is really
Makes me
interesting.
wonder if it's like intentional, like they were trying to be different and quirky, or if it was just like, I don't know. That
Yeah,
to me that just
mhm.
is kind of fascinating because I can't like relate it to another example off the top of my head.
Yeah, like I think like yeah, this was Sucker Punch's, Sucker Punch Productions' second game.
Hmm.
So, and this was the game that, that made it big for them, so they definitely were, being a little bit quirky with it when making the game.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, there it is.
So yeah, you can't obviously, I assume, uh, like control while in that like being drag state.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Yeah,
And, like,
so it's just
you only
you
control where you
position
jump, yeah.
yourself, and then when it drags you back, you have lined it up so you interact with the trigger on the way back.
Exactly, yeah. So
Okay.
it's like, yeah, starting position, where you get stuck or you take damage from in terms of like, jumping in the water and whatnot, and then straight line to the first point. So
Hmm.
no matter what.
And then
And
if the boss trigger happens to be there, you
then
collide.
that's just what it is.
That is fascinating.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's Sly 1. Yeah.
Like just genuinely wow. Again, that is unique.
Yeah, I think like that's one of the main pillars of the speedrun, doing like the super jump, which is what it's called.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, you see, this is why I love learning about new stuff. That's why this
Yeah,
podcast is great, right?
yeah, super interesting. Yeah, like I hope I'm selling it enough to be
No,
like, yeah,
no,
this
like
speedrun is kind of cool. I like it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think all speedruns are cool, honestly, but
No, of course, yeah.
speedrunning, cool. But yeah, I like again we were talking about the proxy, like you can relate that to something else, so you kind
Yeah,
of have a
exactly.
better understand. But no, this is just its own thing. I can't think of something similar to it. All the games I know, it's an instant teleport where you don't have any sort of interaction. You just are back there, or like you die and go back to a checkpoint or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, exactly. Because it is also worth mentioning as well that this game is also a one hit kill game. Like,
Oh,
unless you
okay.
have unless you have an extra item, which is very important for some of those instances, called a lucky charm. So if you have a lucky charm, up to two of them extra, you do take an extra hit, which sometimes is very necessary,
Hmm.
like when you have to take damage. Otherwise, if you don't, if like I say, if you get stuck between like two objects and there's no way out of it without a jump, you do also get the same result, like of getting dragged back to the first spot you were standing on.
Hmm. So it's almost like a fail safe for getting stuck. Like the game's like, okay, let's put you back in the playable area.
Yeah, exactly. Like, which is like I've gotten some experiences like that when playing like Ratchet and Clank, for example. You get stuck. That's just like that just kills you. I think that just makes you restart to the last checkpoint. Like,
Yeah.
but no, in Sly One, it just teleports you. Like, it just drags you back.
Yeah. Every game's different, but
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, that I mean that's cool. I love
Hmm.
when like there's unintended side effects, right? Like obviously
Hmm.
that was their way of wanting to do this fail safe to make it so, the casual experience isn't ruined if you get stuck. But because of that, speedrunners
Hmm.
are like, let's abuse it. And here we
Yes.
are.
Yeah, because the way I thought about it is that even casually, like it's interesting to think about this. Just like when you play the game casually and then you watch the speedrun for this game, like you never, like, as a casual gamer, interact with like all the things that we experience in the speedrun.
Hmm.
Like, there's no like accidentally doing a speedrun trick, mostly
Hmm.
like in a casual run. Like, it's a kind of like self-contained when you start learning about like the mechanics of the game. Like, you might squeeze yourself between a spot and see like you get shot out like a little bit, but like otherwise, if you're just casually playing, it's like, oh, it's just you'd never get to see all of that, like, and unintentionally, which means I think it's probably a well-made game for that regard.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that's the best outcome where you can have a full casual experience with little to no issues, and then you look at the
Hmm.
speed run and it's this broken mess, and you're like, huh?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun when I get a chance to watch people watching like the speed run, and
Mhm.
just like, because like quite literally, like, you're watching the speed run, it's just like flying all over the place, like, legitimately, and it's a lot of fun when people react to that.
Yeah, because well, here's a question: Is it does the game like I'm trying to figure out how to word this, but in like casual
Mhm.
play, can you have that teleport thing happen? Like, is that just how the game handles? I
Yeah,
don't know.
so like yeah, I think that's what I was referring to, the fact that you can still like jump in the water and then get put back in a different spot, but I think in order to have like a visible result, you have to intentionally do like the setup,
Okay.
right? So like there's a couple ways to do it. Um like the easiest way is like you press jump and then and then like you press square, and as you're landing like
Okay.
you have to jump again before the animation ends, and you do that in a chain. So jump swing and then jump swing, like you do that like continuously. Or the hard thing, which people sometimes is like no, don't even notice, is like the game does have a buffer system for specifically only jumping. And if
Oh,
you
okay.
jump like right before you touch the ground, that still counts as not updating your ground position for some reason. So
Hmm.
that's what I mean. Like you never
Yeah, okay.
see that kind of thing. That's not a thing that like you're gonna jump in the water and I'm somehow back here.
So the
You
only
know?
way that would really happen is if a casual player somehow got stuck somewhere and it did the failsafe.
Yeah, it's like somehow they were able to jump without
Which,
updating the ground position, and then they got stuck. It's like, wait a minute, why was I was over here, but now I'm back there where I was before.
mhm. Like, you have to assume that happened to someone because you have to discover something for the
Hmm.
first time, right?
Exactly, as yeah.
So it's just
Oh,
interesting. Like
yeah.
someone had to have had it happen by accident, but yeah, it doesn't sound like it's something that would happen to a lot of people.
Exactly. Oh, I probably should also mention like two other ways to activate that state of not, you know, setting the ground position. It also doesn't set the ground position if you're standing on a ledge and you do
Mm.
like a tiptoe animation, like you that people might be familiar with. Or if you're standing next to like an enemy. So because
Oh,
the game
okay.
doesn't want to put you back where an enemy was, right? Because it's a
Oh,
one hit
okay.
game.
Yeah, got it.
So like it doesn't want to put you near the danger. Like if you jump in the water, it's not going to put you back next to a guard or something like that. So you like it just puts you like a little bit
Hmm.
before that point, before you're in that range. So like just extra ways to do that.
And then just some platforms don't.
Yeah, like breakables. Like like if you're like on a breakable object, that's like kind of like like not qualified as a ground, that also counts. But like
Hmm.
yeah, there's like ways to do on like ways to like kind of see it, but like not like enough to be to kind of like register as like a speedrun trick.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I think I understand everything now. So the normal thing for getting out of bounds, whatever, is it'll always just drag you back to the last time you were standing on the ground, and you're abusing it to where the game has not updated that point.
Yes, yeah,
Okay,
that's basically the gist of the speedrun. Like,
got it.
of course, you could see some out of bounds as well in like certain levels,
Hmm.
but I think like yeah, like if you know those two like main concepts, like the super jump and also the proxy, like if you watch a
Hmm.
run, like you're gonna understand like oh that's what's happening here. Yeah, you
Okay,
see it now.
got it. Okay,
Yeah, those are like the two main pillars of like the speedrun currently.
got it. All right. I think I understand it fully now, at least
Yeah,
without
yeah.
seeing a visual, but
Yeah, no,
I'll
that's
look it up
it's
and
a good
see if
start.
I'm like, oh, I see. Yeah, that's the actually, that's what's nice about a podcast. You learn about something. It's like now
Mhm.
you can go and watch it. This entice the
See, like
viewers to check out the content.
enjoy Sly Cooper because it's a short speeder, and on like the 30-minute mark, you might enjoy it. It's a very fun watch.
Hmm. I mean, again, it sounds unique and interesting, so that's what I've learned
Yeah, it's
so far.
yeah.
Now,
Like I said, my first speed run, so
mhm.
uh, there's a reason why I stuck with it.
No, yeah, makes sense. I mean,
Hmm.
obviously stuck with my first speed run for a while, so
Now that's good.
yeah. Um, it's nice when you choose something as your first that like has some sort of at least personal impact in whatever
Yeah,
way that
because like
ends up being.
yeah, because like it like in the community, like it is known that people want to see me run other speed runs, like try other things out, but like I just can't let go of Sly One, dude. Like I just can't let go. Like
Eh,
even just recently, like last week, I started learning to speedrun the second game, Slide 2, and it's like a completely different like speedrun feeling because you do focus more on movement, and it's more of like a instead of a level setup, it's more of like job setup, like GTA and whatnot. So you kind of like do like
I know that game.
those those things. See, yeah, see, this is why it's good to know other games and like at all, so we can refer to that. But yeah, think of it kind of like that the job setup of like GTA, where you have to go to like certain places to
Mm,
activate certain things to do.
yeah, like missions or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Hmm.
and it's a different speedrun than just like skipping levels.
Yeah, it sounds like the first game is very much a linear thing. Like you said, Crash, like
Yeah,
get to end
yeah,
level, but
yeah, it's like more linear. I think that if you're playing another longer category where you have to play every level, the layout is really interesting because it's like you see it in most levels where levels are kind of like laid out kind of like on top of each other. It's more vertical than when one would expect. Like there's not really a lot of levels that are kind of like just go straight and that's it. Like you kind of have to go up sometimes. So like I said, it gives way to the fact that if you do like a proxy or some kind of like other trick to get you height, you could just like sometimes start the level, do a trick and get to the top where you need to be, and that's the end of the level.
that's great.
Yeah, like that's and I think that's very interesting for the speedrun specifically.
Now, since you brought it up, obviously we've been talking about any percent this whole time, right?
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
what are the other categories?
So yeah, so the four main categories of Sly One are going to be any percent, all keys, all vaults, and 100%. And all keys, think of it basically like any percent, but you have to play every level in the game as fast as you can, and that's
No
my
boss
favorite category.
trigger bullshit.
No, you can still do that. Like it's
Okay.
very funny because you still do that for at least one of the worlds where like it's more optimal to do the boss fight early and come back later because
Oh, okay.
yeah, because after you beat like world 3 or something, you get a new ability, right? Where
Oh, yeah, okay.
yeah, so basically think of it as like invisibility, but the invisibility part doesn't matter. It's more about the fact that when you do the move, Sly kind of like crouches down, like shrinks his hitbox a little bit, and that's very useful for like doing certain, proxies when you want to like get into a certain spot, and when you release the button, he uncrouches and then you get shot out with velocity. So
Hmm,
that is very useful for a majority of the levels in World 2, so that's why you would have to go back to that to finish those faster.
interesting.
Hmm.
That's a really
And then like
funny route.
yeah, no,
Certainly not dev intended.
No, absolutely not. But like, I think it's better than the alternative where the tricks were a lot harder without that trick. But then the other categories are the collection categories. So like there's all vaults is basically like in the game you collect a certain amount of like bottles. So like there's like a random amount of bottles in every level, and you collect them all. You unlock a vault at the end because you're a thief. You steal things, so you open a vault and then you get like certain abilities from those vaults, which is how you expand your move set. And like there's like at least like 4 to like 6 per world or something like that. And then you collect all of them, then you beat the boss fight. And then 100% is basically those other two categories. But with the added stipulation is like, okay, to now beat the whole game, you have to do time trials for the levels you just beat.
Oh, okay.
So, and extra thing. The reason why like I kind of don't like those collection categories is the fact that there is an ability in the game where it just makes the game run faster when you hold down a button. It just literally like overclocks the game and makes it just like actually run faster.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's literally called fast. You hold down the button and then like it just makes the game go faster. Like that's it. So it is optimal to hold down that button the entire time if you can, and then that's just all vaults in 100%.
Fascinating.
Exactly. Yes. It's a weird one, but that's how it works.
Wow. Okay, so and then all keys is just so keys aren't collectibles, so those just those are what unlock the boss fights normally.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah,
got
because
it.
you get 7 keys, you unlock, like, like, the criteria to open, like, the thing to open the boss fight is basically what it is. It's basically, like, you know,
Okay,
the prevention measure, so.
I see. Okay, and then like how much longer are these categories then?
So, at the current moment, I do hold records for all of them
Oh,
at the
okay.
moment, so.
I
Yeah,
hate these
so, like,
categories. I have the record, but oh,
yeah, but, like, so I have the knowledge of what to say about these at least.
I guess if
Yeah,
anyone
so
can complain.
yeah. So currently, as it stands, like any percent sits at a 30-59. Um, all keys currently is at a 55. All vaults, I believe, is an hour and 8, and 100% is like an hour and like 35. So
Hmm.
even then, like the longest category is still able to be stomached, but it's
Hey,
it is
it's the
it's
same length
longer.
as 100% Mario 64, technically.
Which
Like, yeah.
which is good news. Yeah, like if it's not terrible to do. And again, if you want to
Mm.
go that far with it,
Well,
not a lot
getting
of
a
time sink.
135 and 120 star is terrible to do, but
That yeah, it's funny because like it probably could be equated to that. Yes.
even has its own carpet list. It's the same game. No, but
Exactly. A lot of difficult tricks in 100%. With like the fact that you have to juggle the ability to go faster and also trying to be like as precise as you can without losing time. I mean, definitely
Mhm.
not the most favorable experience.
Yep. So, um, I guess in like the timeline of your history with the game, we kind of stopped at the first record you got.
Mm, yeah, I would say so. Yes.
So just kind of keep going along with what you were doing specifically after that.
Yeah, it's interesting because it also goes to show like what happened afterwards, how things were. Because like I got the first record and whatnot, and then I think it's like the revelation of the fact that the fish skip is now becoming to be like a more necessary part of the speed run.
Hmm.
Is people weren't down for that a lot actually. People didn't like that, the fact that it's actually becoming like, oh, we have to do this now. So I think like that revelation kind of like slowed down like the 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 community like quite a bit actually in that time frame, like 2021 to like for a few years actually.
Hmm.
So like yeah, there was definitely a point where I think I think it took a few months for like someone to take the record back, but like in any percent specifically, like it's just been me, like that's just performing at the top level at least.
Well, it definitely sounds like you couldn't put the game down, so I guess it makes
No,
sense.
like yeah, like I don't really like taking long breaks from the game. I think the longest I took was like a month or something to speedrun something
Wow.
else.
Okay.
But now like I've been playing the game consistent like basically every week, yeah.
Wow. Respect the hustle.
It's a good game. I like playing it. It's a good one.
No, I mean it
Yeah.
sounds sick and it sounds like you enjoy it. And that's all that matters, right? So,
So yeah, that's one thing I definitely want to display
mhm.
with specifically like speedrunning as well as streaming, like my experiences like I think it really impacts like the viewer experience when you could clearly tell when someone's not enjoying like the speedrun itself. I definitely never want to come off as that because
Hey,
it could
don't
like
call
it
me
definitely
out
like
like that.
like that. I didn't say anything, but but like I think people could tell like when you're not having like like a good time with it, and like I've been kind of like critical about that in some like aspects of like in the community,
Mhm.
just like like especially back then, like a lot of people were not like I think people were not showing off the best of what the game has to offer in terms of like their enjoyment with it. So
Well,
like I'm like, you
certainly if
know
they
what?
were annoyed by the fish skip or whatever,
Yeah,
I
that's what
see.
I'm saying because like I think that's why like a lot of mindset comes into play when it comes to like at least performing at a top level in any game or doing anything at all. Just like having that ability to, kind of like, let those situations kind of like just like, fall off your back as it were to speak. And also just like, finding like, the enjoyment with doing it, right?
Hmm. No, yeah, makes sense. That's the smart way. Um,
Hmm.
I'm dumb, so but
No, like I think like of course it's perfectly fine to have like the emotion tied to the experience, right?
it's
Because like
called
the way I always
passion.
yeah, you're passionate about the experience and like you want to think so bad that like it does impact you in that manner. So I do feel that.
Hmm.
But also like like I said, it's like it's more of a like a mindset thing
Yeah.
because like because what burnout like it's it leads to burnout, and what burnout essentially is just like you're not connecting like the amount of like effort put into what you're getting out of it. So like that mismatch is what burns people out. So like I never expect to do well when I speedrun. It's just I just gotta put my best out there, and like I just enjoy the experience, and like even if I don't do well that like a particular like time frame, like it's just like, well, I'm still having a good time out here, doing the stream and whatnot. So it's very fun. So like not a lot of like bad feelings for that.
Hmm. Makes sense.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, it sounds like you just kept playing the game forever, but you did try other things.
Yeah, I do try other things,
Okay.
like I do mostly like stick to the PlayStation sphere, but it is on a bucket list to at least try to be good at some kind of Nintendo game that is on there.
Mm, okay. Well, I'll get into that later, but what have you actually tried?
Okay, so I think the you know the games that I have tried speedrunning is I've run the first Jack and Daxter, of course. I've done Ape Escape for the PlayStation 1, very fun game. If never people haven't played it, very fun game. Crash Team Racing,
Yeah.
and I believe, well, technically I could say Mario 64. Like I could do like a mean 20
Technically.
minute 16 star. I could do a mean
Yeah.
20-minute 16 star. That's pretty good, for a guy like me. And I
It's not
think,
bad.
yeah, and last week I just started learning the second Sly game,
Hmm.
so we could count that now.
Yeah. There you go.
And there we go. Yeah. A very short list of the span of 5 years, I would say.
Fair, but I mean, all the games are very different, I'd say. So
Absolutely.
you have to learn a lot of different things. So
Hmm.
it's no easy task to do well at like
Yeah,
completely different skill sets.
yeah, and like I mentioned before, like all these games are way different from Sly One because
Hmm.
like these other games that I'm talking about, they're more focused on like the movement aspect because like sometimes you have like roll jumping and like long jumping and like high jumping and whatnot,
All
and also
forms of
like
jumping.
like all a lot of jumping that make you go faster in a direction, and then like a lot more like routing like specific things. So like unlike you just finishing a level after you do like the trick because like I do describe Sly One specifically as a like instead of a movement based game, it goes into like like the trick based game where it's like it's more focused on doing like the setup, and then you do it and then it works. Like that's it.
Hmm. So how much time have you put into some of these other runs?
Man, it's interesting because I think the longest amount of time I stuck with the game, like after learning it, I believe would be Jack One because that game is just a good feeling game to be good at because like all the like because that game has a crazy amount of like like moves, like a lot of like things to to make Jack do, right? You do like a rolling jump, a high jump, like a punch fucking jump or whatever. It's just like a cool spin that makes you go higher or whatever. So like it's just yeah, boosted uppercuts. Yeah, it's just like a lot of things you could do with that character to make you access more things faster. So I thought that was very interesting, like way different than what I'm used to. So I think I stuck with that for like at least like I don't know, like 4 months. Oh, it's 4 or 5 months. Like seriously,
Yeah.
like trying to be at least kind of decent at that game. And
Well.
everything else is just like yeah, probably like 2 months or so. Like kind of taking it seriously.
Hmm. And when you do these other things, do you put Sly One completely on the back burner, or is it kind of like a mix? Throw it in sometimes.
Yeah, because I do end up kind of putting on the back burner if I can,
Hmm.
but like I always have that thought in my mind is like, man, I could be like getting better at Sly One at the moment. It's like, man, it's like I have to push it off to give like another game like its like its chance because that is always something that I've been like very curious about because like I want to see if I could get at least pretty good at like a top level at another like established game like those games. So like that's definitely something I'm on the hunt for. Just something like that I could enjoy as much as Sly One in that regard.
Hmm. So still looking.
Yeah, like there's no shortage of things that I can do, but
Hmm.
man, it's hard to like replicate that like just like that feeling of just like it's just like I understand what's going on here, and I think I could like actually access like the top level. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Um. So to get back, I guess, on the Sly One stuff, when did you start picking up the other categories? I hadn't really touched on that
Yeah, because
because you have the record in all of them, so surely
I
you
do.
tried them at some point.
Yeah, so I like to hyper focus the things that I'm doing. I don't like jumping around like other multiple categories like at once. So I like even when I started, took me 6 months to get that first record, and then like kind of like basically immediately after I started doing like all keys
Hmm.
because the way to think about it, like I said, it's basically any percent, but you do like the rest of the levels. So you just have to do another half of activities to do that category. So it's not that difficult to tack onto it. Like it's just taking what you already know and just adding more, basically. And that didn't take long, I think, either. Like I would probably wager like a month or two until I started doing like the other categories, I would say.
Hmm. Now, this all keys is not quite, but like almost twice the length of any percent, right?
Yeah, I think before it actually was twice the length, I would say.
Mm.
Saying that like record at the time was around like a 34 or 33. All keys was like about like an hour like 5 or something like that. Like it definitely did not access the sub hour yet. That was more of a technically a recent development.
Okay.
But yeah,
Sounds
before you
like
would
it's a
say
lot
like
more
yeah,
to
it's
learn, but
eh, yeah, it's like the thing is though, like because like like I said that the way that the levels are laid out, you really only have to learn about 1 or 2 tricks per level, which have like the same like basic concept of maybe doing like a camera setup, using the D-pad to be precise with like your up and whatever direction inputs,
Mhm.
and then like you just do the trick and like the level is over. So like if you understand the basics, like these ideas are not gonna take too long, I would say, to tack on to like what you already know.
Okay. And then so I it sounded like it was kind of a quick learning process then, so didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, for someone that spends a lot of time on like any percent, like it's just more of the same, like in other contexts. Yes, I would say.
Mhm. And then just kept adding more and more for the
Yeah, it
other
just adds more and
categories.
more. Yeah, that's the thing with like when you get to all vaults, that's when like it diverges a little bit because like these collectible bottles, right, to access the vault, they are spread throughout the level, so you do actually have to play the level majority of the
Oh.
time. So that's the thing, which sucks, but it,
Mhm.
it needs to be done. But yeah, like I think with something like all vaults, I think it's like the lesser played of all the categories because it is basically just like you're playing all the levels. It's just you have the fast ability, which makes it not that long.
Mhm.
But there's not a lot of like tricks in that one. It's just more routing, which is not entirely appealing for like I guess for what people are used to.
Okay.
And then like yeah, 100%. It just kind of combines like the other categories where you do have to do like the time trial, so you will be doing level skips, so things like that. You do have to do those.
Mhm. So is the time trials literally just like play the level again but do it fast, which you're already doing?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it's
Okay.
just like there's not too many differences from doing the time trials to doing like a normal like all keys run, any percent run. there's some levels where you do have access to like a move called roll. You're basically rolling around everywhere. And it also has like kind of like a pseudo like like hitbox shrinking mechanic where if you squeeze into a spot with a roll and then you jump out of it, it does shoot you to the end of the level sometimes. So just, but like little things like that, those are like few and far between throughout like the speed run. But you do get slight access to some stuff like that.
Okay. Well, is there, I don't know, anything else? Like, are there exclusive, glitches and stuff to the longer categories?
To the longer ones. If I think back on it, I think not really exclusive thing, but there is the hardest super jump chain in the entire game
Mm.
in 100% because the way that the time trials are like laid out is basically, of course, you have to access the end of the level. And it's like instead of grabbing the key, which is like a physical object, it gets replaced with like an exit portal. You like like if you understand, like you just touch the exit portal and they just you finish the time trial.
Hmm.
So there's one level near the end of the run where you have to do a really long super jump from the beginning of the level, and then you have to not drop that super jump up until like halfway through a long level. And then basically you do have to like super jump to jump off of like into the void, and then you get dragged all the way back to like near the beginning of the level where apparently like the exit trigger is.
Oh.
And then like if you hit it good, you exit the level, but if not, you just wasted about like I don't know, like 30 seconds or something, 30-40 seconds,
Oh
and you
no.
have to like try it again, or you just run out of time
So it works the
because
same
like
way as like the boss triggers. It's your trigger.
yeah,
Your
it's exactly the same,
Okay,
I would say.
got it.
And yeah, like the reason like why I say it like that is because like think of it like the layout of the level. It's like the beginning of the level, and then sometimes like usually like on screen but inaccessible is the exit.
Hmm.
Right? You understand? Like so like
Yes.
yeah, so inaccessible, but like it's there. So you just go like wrap around, you know, make a straight line from the start to where you die or something, and then you get zoomed back to like the exit.
Hmm. So the longer categories are really just using everything you've already been using, just more of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Really mastering the craft, I guess.
Yeah, and also with the added like with the addition of there's a go faster button and then
Yeah,
doing
the
it
go
while going
faster
faster.
button is still
Yeah, it
hilarious.
like it is like literally like if you look at the game and then you unlock that ability, it's just called fast at the bottom left of the screen. Just called fast.
It sounds like they put it in there as a joke, but
I
fast.
yeah, it's just like cuz like the UI is very like basic and whatnot, and all the abilities have like it's just like just text and the button to activate it, and
Mm,
it's just like one singular word like fast or roll or stun, things like that. It's very
okay,
simple. Just very simple things like that.
fast.
Just
Well,
fast. That's a fast button.
here. So when you're doing that super jump chain, is it also fast?
Yes, yeah, like the
Wonderful.
best case scenario, like yeah, of course, like your frame data would get like a little bit more stricter,
Mm,
doing like these jumps. So of course you could just like not hold the button to be more safe about it, but
but
you're
fast.
losing, time. Yeah, exactly. But you want to go fast. So that's why like when you're learning like a category like that, you just don't prioritize like going fast if you're not comfortable with it. Exactly.
But fast.
But I want to go
It's
faster.
so funny to me.
It's unique game, very fun game that this one is. Very unique.
No, yeah, you've sold me on it. I'm
Yeah, very
well,
fun one. This one.
I guess speaking of being interested in watching a run then, I usually
Mhm.
talk about marathon runs.
Oh, of course, yes.
What's your history with that?
Mm, well, some could say that I've been very unlucky in some
Oh.
aspects. A lot of my community knows about it, but I've done a couple. I've gotten a taste of the marathon setting. I've done a couple for that my friends have set up. I know
Mhm.
you've had a couple of them. Some of the hosts, Dylan J. Fox and Marathon Man.
Yeah,
They do host their own marathons from time to time,
Marathon
and they
Man
have
hosts marathons. That's crazy.
that crazy, but he just does that sometimes. Very, very, very proud to be part of that. But yeah, they've hosted their own.
Yeah.
They're good friends of mine,
Mhm.
and they've basically given me like my first experience, like actually like doing commentary over a game and whatnot.
Mhm.
But I've done like a couple of GDQ hotfixes at the very
Oh
least,
yeah.
so I know I know basically like what the experience is like, but I just haven't done a lot of in person things, like if at all. Like I don't do in person things usually because like I don't get accepted. So
Well, the in-person
that's
ones
the
are
thing.
definitely harder. It's a much larger commitment.
No, absolutely, I'm perfectly fine with it. It's just like, hey, maybe this is the year. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, the advice I always give is just never give up.
Yeah,
Just
I want to make sure I have like good VODs. I keep submitting it. I submit everything I have, and we just see what's up. We're gonna see what's up with
Mhm.
that. But
I,
I have done like I said, like those experiences. I have got like a couple of them under my belt now.
yeah, do you for like the submission process, do you usually link like one of those online event VODs? I that's
Mm,
something I always recommend, something with commentary, right?
yeah, because because quite recently I did do the hot fix,
Mhm.
like not too long
Yeah,
ago, a
that'd be
couple weeks ago
perfect.
at this point, and I think that one is the best display that I've had with doing the speed run, but also with good commentary. So,
Mhm.
um, kind of hard because it is in a long 8 hour VOD of like the whole like event day because they recently did a all PlayStation like marathon for
Yeah,
2 days.
I saw that. But that's why we
So
have timestamps.
exactly, but
Actually,
yeah, like
GDQ is not cool too, where
mhm.
if you ask, they will send you like the raw video file or something, and then you can edit it and post it yourself
Yeah,
if you
yeah, I
want.
was
So,
thinking about doing that myself as well, just
mhm.
like just like to have that standalone. I feel like yeah, because like I did learn that they do allow that. There's like, oh, you can
Mhm.
repost that if you want. I'm like, yeah, I probably will actually. It'd be good
Yeah,
to like access that.
and then you have the run as a showcase to submit to future stuff. It's a
Yeah,
win-win for
exactly.
everyone.
Yeah, so like, yeah, I do the whole like I do as much recommended like as I can like timestamps. Like I know that GDQ like has been like I've seen the rules like they do is like hey here what are the important parts of the run that you like
Mhm.
you'd like to point out in case of research and whatnot. So I do like as much as I can to like present it as well as I can.
Mhm. Yeah, no, it sounds like they'd have no problem with it. I mean, I've known people that have submitted the same thing like dozens of times.
Hmm.
It, and it finally works out. Most
Yeah,
people I
because
know that have submitted dozens of times have eventually
hmm
done it. So, and
yeah.
at least not that I can think of, but I don't recall at least Sly One being in a main event in a while, right?
Yes, because if I recall, the last time that Sly One was at a GDQ main event was 2023. And that was
Okay.
not that long ago, but it's enough to be
Yeah.
like, well, it could make a comeback at any point because it's been a long time.
And it's short, so it's not like a huge.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
and the
I guess it
category that
depends
was
on the
accepted is
category. Yeah.
yeah, the category that was at the accepted at that time was all keys, so
Oh,
about an
okay. So
hour. That's
yeah.
not too terrible. So
Yeah.
like
So if any
so
percent's been a
that's what
while.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
No.
I'm hoping for that category. So is like what I'd like to do with AGDQ all keys because I feel like with any percent things kind of go a little bit too fast to kind of like appreciate what's going on and like talk about things.
Mhm.
All right, it kind of goes a little bit too fast, like for my taste. So I would prefer all keys, which like you're kind of doing the same thing, but you have more downtime to like talk about things, get through donations, stuff like that. So
Mhm.
that's the preferable one in my opinion.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. You never know. I've seen them submit a lot or like accept a lot more like passion projects. I'll call them like
Hmm.
this runner does this category. This is their bread and butter. This is what they love. Like
Yes,
a couple examples. The most recent one, obviously, Dylan did Spyro and
absolutely yes,
perfect. And then my friend We Super finally got Lego Star Wars in after a lot of
awesome.
tries, and that yeah, like they're you know It might be
Yeah,
the
because
year. You never know.
yeah, like I'm hoping like not even just for GDQ, but just for like anything in general. Like I would like to get my hands on more marathon opportunities, just like in general, if it's even if it's online.
Mhm.
Like I know that like what is it? TwitchCon does stuff like that, right? And they have like
Yeah,
GDQX and
GDQ is
whatnot.
at TwitchCon. Yeah,
Yeah, like just things,
and
just like
PAX.
small things like that, and packs. Like if I
Yes,
could
there
do
are
something,
PAX.
is something like that, like something to get my hands on, like I would be perfectly fine with that.
Mhm.
And hey, like also like if Ludwig comes back with his Fast 50 series,
Past
just saying,
54, or
like that'd be kind
however
of
the
cool. But just
naming scheme goes.
yeah, like it's really funny how that worked out. Is like the first one was Fast 50, and then the second was Fast 52. So like, hey, what's the
Mhm.
next one? Interesting. But yeah, just like I like to get more this year because last year I only did like 2 marathon settings, and I think I'd like more. Like I'd like to
Yeah.
try more things.
You know about the website that lists all of like the online marathons, right?
I definitely should be taking more advantage of that for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
always just
I'm
recommend that
familiar.
because that's by far the easiest way to get your stuff submitted to things. And there's so many online events too. Like
Hmm.
there's always a need for people. So if you want to get your stuff out there and at least some sort of event, those are always good. I used to do a lot of them. I haven't much nowadays, but
Yeah, I
it's a
feel like that'd be
fantastic
good to take
site that I
advantage
can
of. Yeah,
never pronounce the name of.
Oangus, I believe. Yes,
Yeah,
Oangus.
that.
Yeah, that one.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
great
I'm
site
familiar with
if you
that
want to
one.
submit your marathon runs or whatever. But
But yeah, like I think like that's how I met Dylan, Dylan J.
yeah.
Fox. Just like I think at some point he was getting like speedrunners for his event. And I think like around the same time frame I posted a world record like on Twitter, just like it's like, hey, I got a cool all keys record. And then it's very funny looking back at it now, how I was like how Dylan was like, like I man, you did so well. What if you speed ran for us? And I'm like, you know what? Yes, I'll do it. Like, you know what? I want more marathon practice. Of course I'll do it. And then that's how we ended up meeting like that.
Well, there you go.
And then so like I'm open to those experiences as well. Just like, hey, do you want to speed run? I'm like, yes, absolutely, I will.
Well, there you go.
I will
Well,
do it.
yep. Keep submitting. Maybe we'll see Sly at a main GDQ or something like that soon. You never know.
Yeah, that'd be exciting. I'm super down. Like, of course, no hard feelings if nothing, because
Hmm.
very glad that they started doing like the feedback forms for
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
explaining why like things weren't happening, because like the
I feel
last
a
two
lot of the
times I've
time
gotten
it's
those
just
back.
because. Oh, you said you got backup?
Oh no, 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 no. I
Oh,
was just I was gonna say like the last two times that I asked for like the feedback for like
oh,
why
feedback.
something wasn't submitted. Yeah, it's like, oh, the first time was like, it's been a while. Like, it wasn't that long ago since we had like Sly One All Keys there, so like, we
Okay.
kind of passed on that one. And then the previous GDQ, they said, well, we chose Sly Two this time, so it's still good to run, but we just like we ended up going with Sly Two this time, so it's perfectly fine. So that's all I wanted to say there.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. That's actually interesting. I've never tried the feedback thing, so I wasn't sure exactly what kind of, feedback they gave to people. So that's actually really cool. Like they actually will go in detail and tell you. I was gonna say like I assume most of the
Hmm.
time it's like not the runner's fault. It's just hey, they can only
Hmm.
accept 1% of the submissions they
Yeah,
get. It's just like, hey, I mean,
yeah, exactly.
these things happen. But
Yeah, I think like yeah, whenever like a GDQ rolls around, they do like make like a small post about it or like a reply on their socials, just like, hey, we have like a feedback form if you want to ask
mhm.
about why a specific run or two didn't get accepted. So if
Yep.
anyone's submitting, I do recommend like keeping an eye out for that, for those things specifically. Like I don't know if they tell you is like, well, you suck. So I don't know if they've done that before. I'm not gonna say they do, but it'd be really funny if they did.
I haven't personally heard of that happening, but
But like, yeah, like
that's
I
one
haven't heard of
way.
that. So like they will tell you just like, oh, because we just went with this. There's a lot of submissions for this, or like
Yeah.
I think they'll just tell you like if you need like, or if that the run is not like up to like the standard of like a marathon format, right? Because there's some where like it's not very marathon friendly in terms of
Yeah.
like difficulty, or like not a lot of downtime for donations and whatnot. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many factors that go into.
Hmm.
I've talked to a lot of games community members, it is a hard job. So
Mhm.
I give them all the respect I can because
No,
that process,
absolutely.
whew. So
I do not envy it.
I don't know. Sounds like it'd be kind of fun though. Just watching speedruns all day and trying to piece together what would fit a particular event. But I know the
Yeah,
work
exactly.
that goes into that. Like at least for GDQ, I know, smaller
Mhm.
events, maybe just a couple people. GDQ's got like 10 people, all that specialize in different like speedrun
Oh, yeah,
genres and franchises
exactly.
all coming together. It's crazy stuff. But they do
Yeah,
a
like
good job. I'll give them that.
yeah, they do. I will say, like, at the recent, like, AGDQ, I was very happy to see that, there was a lot more representation for, like, specifically PlayStation
Oh,
speedruns.
PlayStation was huge
Yeah,
last
because
GDQ.
like,
Yeah.
I don't recall, but I do think it's been, like, I don't know if they've ever done it or, like, but it's been a while, but this is, like, the first time that, like, the big 5 of the PlayStation like mascot like speedruns were like present at some form. So like Spyro, Crash, Sly, Ratchet, and Jack. So like
Hmm.
those are like the big 5 of the PlayStation mascots, and those were all represented, which very much made me happy. Like to see,
Yeah, that's rare for sure. Um,
and like because like usually it's like you get like one or two of those like in like into GDQ. So like seeing like those like really was like exciting.
mhm. And that wasn't even all the like the PlayStation hitters. Obviously, those
Yeah,
are
yeah,
the
for
big
sure.
five, but like, yeah, no, the
Yeah.
representation was quite extensive. Now I know
Hmm.
it helps. They always have the big like PlayStation Mystery Tournament. Like I
Mm.
know even one time it was on like the main stage, like the finals or whatever. So the
See, like
PlayStation Nation
that's
is
something.
strong
Yeah.
in GDQ, but yeah, it was like on the screen for a while, you know.
That's good. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
very
it's
glad to
cool.
see that. And also, like, on the other side of the world, currently going on is ESA,
Hmm.
which is like, they do also like enjoy a lot of the PlayStation speedruns as well. So that's very good to see that. Yeah, PlayStation is a good place to be for speedrunning, is what it feels like. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean the games seem very varied, very varied,
Hmm.
except for proxies. Those are guaranteed. But
Yeah, there might be a proxy in one of these games. Like you'll find like the same line there.
but no, yeah, I mean obviously Nintendo boy, but I've had a lot of PlayStation Nation people on this show, and it always just sounds sick, right? It's a good
No, yeah,
community of
it's a fun place
folks.
to be.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of the same like intermingling between all the communities because it is just that the kind of tight knit because like everyone just kind of like knows each other in some way or another
Hmm.
in this community.
Yeah, that's sick. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I think we've gone over most of everything already, but like, I don't know. Is there anything we didn't go in depth in that you'd like to?
Mm,
I mean, you are the guest. So.
yeah, I'm thinking about it. I feel like we did hit a lot of good points
Hmm.
uh for this one just naturally, but I don't know, like it might be a case of like, man, we end the podcast is like, man, I really wish we talked about this one thing. Like I could imagine that being the
Yeah,
case, but
that's why I always ask because I don't want to, miss out on something. But
yeah, like we even talked about like the marathon experience, which very good to talk about that as well. So at the moment, I feel like it's feeling pretty good unless you have like something like offhanded that like you have a thought about. I'm down with.
um, well, yeah, the only thing I usually do is I do have like a couple like final questions I usually ask. Um,
Okay, yeah, that'd be cool.
so future plans, speed running, content, streaming, anything. Just especially if you
Yeah.
have like future speed runs you want to learn, the backlog.
Ah, yes. Yeah, it's very interesting because 2026 could be a good year. I'm looking forward to this. Of course, I no matter what in terms of Sly One, I never feel like I'm done. I feel like there's always more Sly One to be played, so I will keep doing that, is like improving as much as I can. Because any percent specifically, I think we did actually reach a point where the last milestone, like minute barrier, was beaten. Like even though it was I beat it by 1 second, 30:59, I still think that like that could be played like better. So I'm gonna keep doing that a little bit if I can. But other speed runs, I'm currently learning the second game, Sly 2. Uh, which with the main goal of trying to learn all the games in the series because there is like a thing where, we do a slyfecta where we play all
Hmm.
4 of the games in a row. So
Okay.
that is the main goal. Oh yeah, I was also reminded that I did recently do a stream where we did have like incentives for me to actually do something called 100% coinless. That probably sounds self-explanatory. I have to play the entire game without collecting a single coin. So I'll have to do that at some point.
I didn't even know there were coins.
So like there's coins, you collect them, you get 100 of them, you get a lucky charm. There's like nothing else that
Ah,
happens. Like you just
that's
get
what
it
causes the lucky charm. Okay, I did hear about that.
like yeah, so that's one way, but there's also sometimes lucky charms like, placed in like the level itself.
Mm, okay.
So like that's just one other way to do it.
It's just the extra
Um
hit thing, right?
yeah, it's just the extra hit thing. And like if you have like 2 lucky charms, it turns gold. And if you get like 100 coins there, you get extra lives. So it's not really like that fancy, but it
Mm.
is what it is.
100
Like this
coins give you an
that's just
extra
happened.
life. Where have I heard that before?
Wow, man!
Hmm.
Only when you're actually like, hey, you get 3 hits now. That's it. Like you get a life now. That's good. Which is very interesting because I played the beta for Sly One not that long ago, and they did have an idea where instead of they gave you up to 4 lucky charms, which would have been overkill for a game like that. Like because the game's more focused around like dying in one hit and whatnot. So having 4 extra chances is like a little bit too much.
Too easy. Get that out of
And
here.
too, no, absolutely, you can just like bully your way through things. But other things, I would like to return to one of the other PlayStation speedruns. I feel like um recently got my hands on a physical copy of like Ape Escape. I got one of
Ooh,
these
nice.
finally. I'd like to do this at some point. Like I said, I recommend it if you haven't played casually. It's a very fun one. Feels like a video game. It's a very video game. Like it just feels really fun to play.
Sure. That's one way to describe it.
Yeah, like you play it, and it's like man, this is like a video game, like ever. Like this is very fun. Like it's whimsical. Good music too. I recommend it.
I've heard good
Anything
things.
else?
Yes.
Like, can we see anything else? Of course, try to get into more marathons. I want to make content rather than just like uploading PBs
Ooh, all
on
right.
YouTube. I'd like
What
to
kind
do
of
that because
content are we looking into?
I think last year I played around with the idea of like trying to like do so like fun editing with like explaining speedrun stuff. So I
Mhm,
have like a couple of shorts on like TikTok and like YouTube and whatnot, like that kind of go into that like a little bit in terms of that.
mhm.
But I want to like fully get back onto that. Maybe like make some kind of full length, long form content around the game. I feel like that'd be a lot of fun because like right now, like I don't have a lot to upload because I don't have a lot of PBs going on.
It's a little hard to PB now, is it?
Yeah, it's a little bit hard, but like we're gonna back it up with some good content. Hopefully, we're gonna see.
All right.
And yeah, of course, just streaming. 3 times a week. Every week. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Mhm. Um, I was curious, what's on like your speedrun backlog that you haven't touched yet?
That I haven't touched. Ooh,
Yeah.
oh, that's also a thing as well. I I'm glad that you brought this up because that's something we could talk about a little bit. The fact
Yeah.
that I feel like a lot of us have some kind of like speedrunning bucket list, right? Is
Oh,
that a
I
thing that
do.
that makes
And
sense?
I haven't touched a
Um,
lot of it.
yeah, because like I like to compartmentalize like a lot of like the things I want to speedrun in terms of like like the genre or like the kind of games that is because like one thing I want to get into is like some kind of indie game. I'd like to be good at
Mhm.
an indie game and a Nintendo game. Like at some point, I want those 2 things to come into fruition. At some point, it's just like it's hard to decide. It's like
Well, if you
it's
decide on
interesting.
Mario 1, I'm here, but
I do have another friend that at least knows how to speedrun Mario One in the Slack community.
Ooh,
I
who's
like
that?
they've tried it. I don't know, just someone called Nightfly. I don't know, like they're probably not familiar in like the sphere, but they've I've seen them that experiment with Mario 1
Okay.
specifically. So there's like an entry point. Like there's a
Hmm.
way.
I see. Well,
And
that's a nice,
yeah.
easy one if you're ever interested. but
Yeah, but because like thinking about Nintendo games, like there's like a lot of like a lot of you know,
yeah,
to go
I don't
to.
know what would
Right?
like what Nintendo game would be similar to like Sly One.
Yeah, because like of course like I say I could run Mario 64, but like I want to get into something like more like more precise, like more varied.
Mm.
Like, cause like you could see you could people can run Mario 64, like that's just like a given. Like you could just do
Mm-hmm.
it, but I want to get into like something more specific. Like I've been thinking about, I don't know, some kind of like Metroid would be kind of fun. That'd be
Metroid.
interesting.
Okay.
You know, like I like maybe I could do like Metroid Dread or something like that along those lines.
Okay.
Um, you know, like Mario Odyssey would be also kind of
Mm-hmm.
fun as well.
That's a
But just
classic.
like
Yeah.
yeah, just like I just some kind of Nintendo game and an indie game if I can. Like those are like currently like the things I want to like get onto at some point.
Uh, do you know what like indie games you're thinking of?
I have a couple. There's at least two that come to mind. There's a game called Inscription, if you haven't heard of it, which is vastly different than literally anything that we talked about. It's just like if for not for those not familiar, it's basically a card game,
Ah.
and yeah, it is a card game that you have to like proceed through like kind of like a roguelite setting. Man, it sounds familiar to like
Mm-hmm.
other games,
Hmm.
but it like it just has like really good atmosphere. In of course like playing your cards right. Of course, you know like make like RNG plays into big factor into it. Um, it's just more about the setting. I feel like is more interesting, but like the gameplay is also like quite fun.
Sounds like
And
a
another
combination
yeah
of Balatro and Forbidden Memory.
yeah Balatra. And that's not a bad comparison, but there's like a little bit of like a it's not exactly horror, but it's more like that kind of
Ooh,
like atmosphere. Sort of like it's like kind of like eerie, ominous, I would
spoopy.
say. Like yeah, if you look at like the game and its promotional material, like you would see that like oh that's very like off-putting. It's very interesting
Mm,
to like it's striking. Like I would say, it's called Inscription. So if anyone's curious
got
about
it.
that, and another game called Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Oh, okay. No, I've seen some stuff. That's the Jet Set Radio like kind of inspired stuff.
Exactly, yes. And
Oh,
I do
actually,
think
since you bring that
that
up,
game.
that reminds me. I
I'll say
didn't
this is good.
I didn't know this. But at AGDQ, I'll move my camera, but I was given this sick
Mhm.
trans rights sticker in graffiti.
O
It was from the
Of
AGDQ
course.
2024 Bomb Rush Cyberpunk run.
Oh, that's
And I
awesome.
didn't
I
know
love it,
that.
yeah.
And I randomly like saw the run and I was like, "Oh, that's where that sticker's from."
Oh, well, there we go. It's good to see.
So,
I'm glad that I brought this
I'm
up. This
just,
is good.
yeah, it's all connected, you know.
Yeah, it's meant to be. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think that game would be a lot of fun to do. You know, like it does like have its have its movement and like a lot of cool tech to like fly around everywhere. I've seen a little bit of it. I have another member of the community like that speedrun Sly actually like pretty good at that game. So it's very like I'm kind of down to try it. Very very fun game. Absolutely.
No, it looks wild, especially in a speedrun sense. Whew.
Hmm.
There's so much shit flying around.
Exactly. As I'm like I like
That
like
just
those are
looks
like
like good fun,
the
you
main
know?
things. Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, no. And GDQ really likes that game. I've been in a lot of events where Bomber Cyberpunk's been in it.
Yeah, like that'd be a good jumping in point for me. I feel like getting that as like a bucket list item would be kind of fun. Like doing Bomb Rush itself, yeah, that'd be fun.
Hmm.
Or just
Yeah,
like
no.
any game that comes out, like right, like if it's just like there's like a cool like 3D platformer that's like just bursts onto the scene. I feel like what, let me get in on that. You never know with indie games, like something good could just happen like next week.
Hmm. Yeah, that's what's cool about it. Like talking
Hmm.
about unique stuff, right? Like
Exactly, yeah.
there's no shortage of uniqueness in the indie scene, especially when it comes to speedrunning.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So, yeah. I haven't I need to play more indie games. I'm cringe. So, I'll fix that eventually. I haven't even played Celeste yet. So,
It's like that's funny too because like I say the same thing. Like in my spare time, like I mentioned, I like a lot of my time is dominated by practicing Sly One.
yeah, right.
So like I don't like play a lot of different games off stream. Like like I have at least beat Celeste, right? And I've done like
Hmm.
a little extra levels, but I know there's like a lot more to that game since I played, so it's kind of scary to go back. So,
Yeah, I do have my
so
like indie game that I thought about and almost tried. It was V6. That is one I
okay,
played, beaten
like
multiple times, and I'm like, maybe
I'm not familiar with that game. I don't think I've heard of this one.
it's the,
V6.
you know, the name of the game is just V6 times, and you change
Oh
gravity
yeah,
each
okay,
jump.
okay,
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Okay, yeah, that one. Okay, now I'm
yeah,
familiar. Okay, yeah, I'm familiar. I was like V6. I'm like, I never heard it that way before.
yeah.
I just seen it like typed out.
It's
I'm like, you know
easier
what?
than just
That's
saying V.
yeah,
Sound
there
like
it
a
is. That
broken
makes a lot more
record.
sense to me.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I feel like that's like would be my indie thing. 2D platformer ish. I played it and beaten it multiple times. Like
Hmm.
I gotta have some sort of indie representation. Currently, it's all just Mario. I feel
That's
bad.
that's what I'm saying. Like the bucket list idea is like I feel like we all kind of feel it.
Yeah, we all have something, right?
Just like something so removed from what we currently do, right? So like just like kind of like explore other things because like it is a goal of mine to like to be at least somewhat top level at these other games. Like like I said, it's definitely my like current search. Just like can I be good at something else that's not my current thing? Like do I have that in me?
And it's hard to do, to expand your repertoire to be like top level at different skill
Hmm.
sets, because every game again is like usually pretty vastly different and you have to learn a lot. So not a lot
Exactly.
of
Yeah.
people like, again, I'm good at like Mario games,
Hmm.
but they're all very similar. So it's like branching out outside of that's a little harder.
That
So
makes sense.
yeah, so I just find it
Hmm.
impressive because I know people that are like top level at like different game genres, like multiple stuff. I'm just like, you're just the goat. Good job.
I like yeah, like I could hardly like imagine that as well. Just like even in like my own space, it's like can I be that good at something that isn't like some kind of like platformer? Like am I gonna be good at like a shooter at some point? Like is that gonna happen? Like can I be good at like Modern Warfare, like Spec Ops or something? Like is that gonna happen?
You never know, but
Like
that's
see,
what's great
that's
about
why we gotta
speedrunning is
yep.
you will never get bored. there's there's
Just
too many
gotta expand.
games. Yeah, just
Hmm.
so. But yeah, I think that's everything I usually ask. So
Yeah, I think that covers a good breadth of of what's going on like on my side. I think that's pretty good.
I
You know.
learned about Sly a lot. Sounds cool.
Yeah, yeah, like you know the basics. You
I
know
know the
like
basics.
you know what you could be looking at. That's good. That's a good
Thank you
start,
for
honestly.
educating the class today.
No, absolutely. Like I I don't like even for as much as I stream the game, I don't end up talking about it. This is
Yeah.
like I just play it and it just like we just like talk about whatever is like on the mind, you know? Like
Hmm.
I just do the thing and then like there's not a lot of like there's not a lot of like backing commentary on like what I'm actually doing. So it is good to discuss like, the intricacies of like, the game itself, which is very fun for me to do.
Hmm. I'm glad because I like learning about stuff like this when I'm like not familiar at all with a speedrunner game. I just like listening to people who know what they're talking about talk about it, and I'm like, ah. Because now I feel like I could watch a run and be like, oh, I know what's going on now, instead of just being like, what the fuck? Why did he teleport across the map?
Yeah, that goes to like another thing I think about like with Sly One specifically is the fact that like when you watch the game, I feel like it's very like friendly for like the eyes because like sometimes like you mentioned like there might be a lot of like teleporting and then like a lot of like setups for like something you don't quite understand, but I feel like everyone boils down Sly One is like, dude, that raccoon's just flying, dude. Like he's just flying places and like it
He's
just
just
looks good.
flying.
He's just flying, dude. He's just out there. Like that's basically what you see, and it's not hard to understand. It's like, oh, you just jump there, he goes that way. That's what it is, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like the intricate details. I'm obviously a big connoisseur of the speedrun content. I'll sit down
Hmm.
with a essay explaining this game I've never even heard of before, talking about how these tricks work, and I'll be invested. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
genuinely interesting to me. So
Yeah, hopefully we could get something out in that regard for this game specifically. Like even if it's not like like someone like Ricky or Summoning Saul. Like if I could do
Hmm.
it myself, I feel like that'd be quite exciting to like kind of like in like a good entryway for like like enjoying the speed run, but like in a fun way.
Hmm.
Rather than just like looking at a PB, like something that's more like entertaining. I would say.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, speed running can always use more content creators because I mean,
Absolutely, yes.
there's a lot of them, but like there's a lot more games.
There's a lot of
There's a
games, a
lot
lot of
of
niches.
games.
Yeah,
So
like that's something I've always thought about as well myself. Just like even in the scope of like what I do is like there's definitely like a large like gap of like knowledge and content in at least what I'm doing. So it just if I get good at making things, I feel like that'd be a good start, and then like it'd be a lot of fun to do that.
yeah. Well, if that's everything, the last thing is you can.
Hmm.
Speaking of content, you can self promote
Yes.
all your stuff.
Yeah. Of course, I am Gehis514 on Twitch. Like I'm currently here on the website, which is very fun. I'm also on YouTube. You
Which
might
this
see
will
me.
also be on that site. So
Yes, as well. Very fun. So like I'll post my PVs, but I want to get more into like more precise content. That's not just like actually me just speedrunning the game.
Mhm.
I might do some more shorts and whatnot. We'll see about TikTok, but like we'll see how that website goes down.
Yeah.
But yeah, those like that's basically it. Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, whatnot. What do you expect?
Yeah. The links are on stream and in the YouTube description as always. So give them a nice big
Absolutely.
old click, you know?
Yeah, good to see it. Yeah, very fun though. Yeah, very fun discussions today, I would say.
Yes. Well, thank you for coming on and being interested in the show at all. Always appreciate people that actually care.
No, like it's I was talking about this with like a friend actually, like not too long ago. That like I remember replying to your thread on Twitter when you were on
Mhm.
there still.
Yeah.
Just like that was like a year or two ago at this point. I'm like, wow, it's time. I actually get to talk about
Yeah.
something about speedrunning.
Finally.
It's very fun.
Dude, I have a list. It's a really long list, and I'll just randomly be like, "Oh yeah, they showed interest. Let me reach out." So I, if anyone's ever shown interest, I do write it down, and I will eventually, probably, maybe, reach back out.
No,
But we
yeah, like
got there. We got there.
yeah, we ended up getting there. Like I feel like yeah, just like it's a lot of fun to talk about these things. Like I said, because like I don't usually get a chance to, even though I do stream the game, I don't
Hmm.
get a chance to just like talk to someone about it. In this manner.
Well, I'm happy to listen. So
Yeah, sounds good to me. Yeah, it was very fun.
yeah, thanks for coming on, and I guess we'll call it a day. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching as always.
All right,
Uh,
sounds good to me.
Yep. Follow the show, I guess. There's a couple episodes out there already. Uh,
Hmm. Yeah, a
I
couple. Yeah, is one way to put it.
yeah. I think in a few days it'll be the 3rd year anniversary of my first podcast episodes upload. So
Oh no, that's exciting. So can't wait for that one.
3 years of weekly uploads with a
Absolutely,
new
that's
guest
exciting. That's
every
good.
time. At least I could do something consistent. Because we all know I can't be consistent in speedrunning and streaming, apparently. But at least I got this
Yeah, we got something holding you down at least for once a week. So I feel like that's fine.
success. And we're still going. Here's to year 4. Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh brother, we can't wait to get 100 more speedrunners plus. Yay!
And the thing is, I could, because the community is large and people are cool and have things to talk about, and we're going to be here forever. But it's okay.
Yeah, a lot of untapped communities, as you know.
Hmm.
Even just like like outside of like just what we do, PlayStation, Nintendo, a lot of untapped potential in these
Oh, yeah.
communities. Very good to see.
Yeah, again, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't love it. Just there's so many
Absolutely.
people with so many different insights and perspectives on the speedrun community, and I'm just happy to share their stories. I'm happy to just sit here and listen and nod my head and be like, yeah.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
just like retaining all the knowledge that you're learning from these games that you haven't even touched. Like, yes,
Exactly.
we like that.
It's great.
Yes,
We love it here. All right. Well,
absolutely, yeah, for sure.
yep. That'll be all for today. So, again, thanks
Hmm.
everyone for watching. Support the show if you want by watching more episodes. We're still going strong. I think that's all I got. So I'll end things off with a simple goodbye.
Goodbye. It was
Bye.
fun.